Okay, so this offseason refuses to let up. Rudy Gobert traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves to have a front court with Karl Anthony Towns. There's a whole lot to talk about there. But of course, we have to start from Utah's side of this. So here's the official thing. We got Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Walker Kessler, who was Defensive Player of the Year in college, rim protector, 5 blocks a game, the same mold of player as Gobert. Jared Vanderbilt, who I love, and we now have it from Woj. It is 4 first-round picks, including Walker Kessler. Wow. So when I saw the initial players coming back to Utah, I was a little underwhelmed, I'll be honest. And then I saw the 4 firsts, and oh my goodness, I just saw the pick protections. Unprotected in 2023, 25, and 27. Top 5 protected in 2029. Oh my god, I guess if you really want Rudy Gobert, that is a lot of pieces. And I mean, we can think about the Jazz starting 5 real quick. It's Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell. Royce O'Neal's not there anymore, so I guess Bogdanovich is your starting 3. Does Jared Vanderbilt just slot in right at the power forward spot? And then you've got, unless I missed something, I think Walker Kessler is the only center on the roster right now. Now, Patrick Beverley's a good defender, and I mean, this is the thing, right? They needed more defensive players around Donovan Mitchell, and now they've got Vanderbilt as well as Beverley. But you lost the guy who made you a top 5 defense year in and year out. And now I'm just thinking, how far has the Jazz defense fallen after this trade? That's the big thing. You know, if you become the 28th best defense in the league, that hurts. If you drop down to, I don't know, 15th, because you just picked up a couple of good defenders and maybe Kessler can have a day one impact, or perhaps you can just get a center who is obviously not Gobert defensively, but is still okay enough. I mean, Hassan Whiteside played last season for him. I believe he's a free agent at this very moment. I don't think he's going to change your world defensively, but he's a guy, if that matters. As far as these picks, I mean, now Utah is so much more open with, I mean, number one, just options with picks and, you know, having actual selections in the future, which they could be moved, but there's also a lot of reason to want to hold on to these. But also, I mean, they got off so much money here. I mean, that Gobert contract, even for as big of a Gobert fan as I am, was a lot of money for a long time. Beverly and Beasley are expiring deals. Vanderbilt's on his rookie deal. Obviously, Walker Kessler's a rookie. Okay, have I talked about the Jazz enough? That actually just kind of floored me a little bit. Minnesota. So there were little rumors about, okay, we want to dabble with a rim protector next to Towns, which I think is understandable. If it was me, I would have gone the route of let's pick up like Isaiah Hartenstein or something. I mean, he's on the Knicks now, I know that, but like I would have done that like 2 days ago. You know, somebody who could give me some minutes there, and it would just be another thing I could go to, right? With the idea of sometimes we can have Towns and a rim protector, sometimes it's Towns and Vanderbilt. Nice versatility all around. But it's not something that I have to stick to, right? Minnesota clearly was like, nope, we're fine with it. Towns, you're now effectively the power forward. You are going to be guarding 4s. Rudy's going to be protecting the basket. He will be defending centers as well. And we just put so many resources into that spot next to Cat. I am going to talk about the defense for a bit here, but real quick, because I just mentioned that, you know, Towns is effectively the 4 now when he and Gobert are in the game together. That means other teams are going to have to put a wing on Towns. Or maybe not have to, but that's what I'm envisioning is going to happen a bit more, right? Because the center is going to be on Gobert, unless you want to get real wacky and do it the other way around. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see how teams choose to guard when these 2 guys are in the game. Because Towns, he could have a size advantage most nights now. And, oh boy, I mean, okay, so last year the Wolves were 13th in defensive rating. They started out the season really well on defense through a bit more of a trapping, aggressive scheme. I think the timelines are right here. It's been a minute, so excuse me if one of this is off. But then as the year went on, they like kind of went to a more typical defense, I believe it was, or they still dabbled a bit in the trapping, whatever it was. Of course, they played super aggressively on Ja Morant on screens a lot of the time. And I think some of that was because they just felt, you know what, Towns is a rim protector. There's a ceiling there. Now, of course, they just got the best rim protector in the NBA, so I mean, I would imagine the defense becomes a little safer in terms of drop coverage and all that. Not that Gobert cannot play outside of the paint. He's actually pretty damn good at it, even if Utah didn't really want to dabble in it too much. And so now I'm just picturing Towns guarding. It's going to have to be 4s or the worst forward on the opposing team. And, I mean, that means he's going to be tasked a little bit more with guarding around screens and stuff like that, unless they're going to bust out some defense that I just am not able to imagine at this very moment. You know what I mean? As far as the rest of the defense, I mean, you've got D'Lo, who as a communicator was a lot better this previous season. In terms of just locking guys up, I don't know about that. They lost Patrick Beverley. Anthony Edwards has the potential to be a great defensive player because of the size and athleticism, but he's still got to improve a bit on the IQ and all that. We have, who the hell's the starting three of this team? Is it Jaden McDaniels? I believe they agreed to a deal with Taurean Prince. Like, it's possibly him. Look, man, they traded two of their best defensive players to get Rudy Gobert, and so now it's like, individually, the guys around him are not great. Now, of course, part of the thing with Gobert is he elevates the whole team defensively. So, I don't know. Let's talk about the offense, and then we can talk about what's going to happen in the playoffs. Can teams still go small against them, that whole spiel? So, offensively, if you've got Gobert diving to the rim off of an Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell something, and then you've got Karl Anthony Towns either standing in the corner or just lingering anywhere because no matter where he is, the defense is going to stay glued to him. Yeah, that's going to be tough to guard, no doubt about it. What I am interested in seeing is how does Towns operate around the basket offensively with Gobert on this team? Because, look, man, Rudy's going to be chilling around the dunker spot. He's going to be diving to the rim. And yes, Towns is a great shooter. And I don't use that word lightly. He is flat out one of the best shooters in the NBA. That does not mean I want him on the perimeter all game. I like when he can get his drives off. I like the face-ups where he can get physical and hopefully not commit offensive fouls because he's mad at the referees. And with Gobert now around the basket, I'm not saying that can't work, but I want to see what that all looks like. We're also going to have to see just like D'Angelo Russell if he's going to be on the team. I mean, there's been talk of a D'Lo trade this offseason, although a lot of that was just Twitter. I don't know if they were real rumors, but we're going to have to see his pairing with Gobert, because D'Lo, he likes to try to get the defender on his back, and he likes to kind of like snake around, read the situation, and while this is happening, Rudy's just going to have his arms in the air like, give me the damn ball. Which, again, I'm not saying that that's not going to work. I mean, there's a chance that you're going to get like 7 D'Lo to Gobert lobs a game. Not that many, but you know what I mean. I wonder if we could get some like Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, or Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum-esque stuff where it's Towns getting passes to Gobert. Whether that's like, Gobert on the opposite dunker spot of where Towns is operating or something like that. I mean, what did Popovich say? If you have two big guys who can't shoot, and this is Karl Anthony Towns, who of course is an amazing shooter, then if they're good passers, it can work. So if that great shooter is also a good passer, then perhaps the spacing is not going to be a problem. Ooh boy. Let's talk about playoffs, because we've seen it with the Jazz, teams go small, that whole spiel. If a team goes small against the Wolves, does that work? Well, let's just go with the Clippers here. Let's say the Clippers want to play small for the sake of trying to stretch out Gobert. Who is now guarding Karl Anthony Towns? I mean, you could try PG, you can try Kawhi, but Towns a big dude, and I don't know if forwards could just easily deal with the guy. Now, of course, there's double teaming, and if you trust your defense can get back out to guys, and anybody who the Wolves have that's a okay shooter or whatever, like teams are going to dare him to take shots, of course. But that's my guess. My guess is that the Wolves are banking on, okay, you want to try to do to us what you did to the Jazz, go small, we have Karl Anthony Towns, so good luck. But they're still going to have to guard other teams going small as well, so I really want to see it. This is an overwhelming trade. Sometimes I wish I could give myself like a couple hours to react to these, but I just throw myself into the fire right away. So, wow. I'm going to spend the next like 24 hours thinking, what the hell is this? Next 24, I'm going to spend the next like 7 months trying to think about this one.